Hi, Dave from Daiwei Quern here. I've just been thinking today about a couple of things. People have been talking a lot recently on forums about internal Wing Chun being different from fighting Wing Chun. And there's sort of a bit of a confusion as to what the truth is about these two ideas. And I'm just giving you my 2 cents worth, but essentially, if internal Wing Chun is only good for making you de-stress and have a nice placid temperament and get over the problems of life, and it's no good for fighting, then it shouldn't really be called Kung Fu. It should be called meditation or yoga or something like that. But the way I've been taught by my Sifu Jim Fung and his Sifu, my Sigong, Chu Shong Tin, and all the teachers that have studied with them who've I've been lucky enough to learn from, the whole point of what we're doing with internal Kung Fu, as passed on from Yip Man through Chu Shong Tin, is that we're developing a way of producing force that's different from just using raw muscle. And that is the essence of the art. And when I started 20 years ago, 1997 in Sydney, my instructor said to me, you're a big muscly guy, you're gonna have to find a way not to use those muscles. And to me, it seemed a really challenging thing, and it still is a really challenging thing, but I set myself that as my standard, not to use my natural force, because I was told that if I followed this Wing Chun way, then I'd find a force that was much greater than what my muscles could produce. Now, 20 years along the track, I feel like I have found that force, because when I can use that force, and which is mostly these days, I'm not saying it's incredibly powerful, but it's pretty powerful, and I feel nothing. It's as if nothing's happening. So, as I've shown in one of my videos how to test the form, there's ways of finding out if somebody is using just muscle. I generally try to find somebody as big as me, or hopefully bigger, so that I can't cheat, and so that others can see that I'm not cheating. I get somebody who can really stop me from actually moving if I use my natural grunt. And then I'll get into that mind state, just think they're not there, I'm just moving, and see if I can do it. Now, when it comes to fighting, we come up against fear. It's all very well to talk about these things in a Kwun where everyone's friends, you're all on the same page, there's nobody really saying, oh, you're full of crap, you can't do that, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. That puts you into the whole human thing of being afraid and feeling scared for your life, for your safety, perhaps even for your reputation or ego, which is not as important as your safety. But definitely in a fight, especially if somebody's big and powerful or scary looking and angry, it can be really daunting. And really, there's only one way to find out what that's about, and that's to be in those situations. Now, I'm not saying that you should go out and get yourself in those situations, but at the same time, if you want to be a fighter, you need to have some experience of that. Otherwise, you will probably tend to freeze and revert to using your muscles and just fighting the best you can, which is, not such a bad thing. But we want to be, as Wing Chun practitioners, we want to use this internal art rather than reverting to just bashing away like any schoolboy. That, by the way, is how most people fight in real fights that I've seen. Everyone throws haymakers, all technique seems to go out the window. The dangerous guys are the boxers and the the Taekwondo experts and just the dudes that can stay calm and use their trained skills. But you have to prepare the mind, in this instance, beforehand. You can't expect to be able to stay calm and use your soft internal Wing Chun skills in a real fight unless you prepare yourself and think about it beforehand and think about scenarios and put yourself in situations. And actually, fighting is not the only way to find out how to be brave. Like, most of us have to deal with things, you know, scary things that happen at the doctors or scary sports. I remember in surfing, many a scary time when I paddled out of surf that was probably a bit out of my league, just following some mates. Found myself quite terrified by huge waves, but I just had to deal with it. There's no one going to help me. There's no helicopters going to fly in and take me away, or jet skis, as there often are these days, to come and save me. It was just basically paddle or die. So those life experiences do help you to learn to control your fear and your panic and stay calm. But I'm just saying that internal Kung Fu is meant to be used for fighting. There's no doubt about that. It's absolutely overwhelmingly powerful if it's done properly. And you don't have to be angry to fight well. It's better to be clinical about it. That's how commandos fight. That's how spies and assassins, you know, Jason Bourne types fight. They don't fight all pissed off and lose the plot, you know, do their block, as we say in Australia. And British guys say do their lolly or something like that. Anyway, the important thing is to be able to stay calm and apply your Wing Chun in a clinical sort of way. But you must think about it. You must prepare for the chances of fighting. And sometimes it can be good to have classmates who are a bit aggressive and try you out. Every now and then I've been tried out by people from other lineages of Wing Chun who might even think that our Wing Chun's not that great, or, you know, people have all sorts of opinions, but I don't tend to care too much what people think. I don't tend to show off, but the important thing is to, you know, not be too much of a softie. You do have to be a fighter to be a martial artist. And Siu Jim used to say, you can have all the skills, but if you don't have fighting spirit, you're in big trouble in a fight. And it just means the ability to spark up. It doesn't mean to get angry and turn to the dark side. It means to basically, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm going to fight back. There's a difference between that and getting angry and doing your block. It's just being super determined. And there's actually an aspect of Wing Chun Mind Force is very much about, you could call it intent or meaning with meaning. Yi Nim Lik, it's called. Yi is not just an internet meme, but it's a Chinese word meaning to do something with meaning, with intent, with strong determination. And Siu Jim used to talk about determination force, which is the same sort of line of thinking. So I'll leave you with that. Don't believe this idea that internal Kung Fu is not useful for fighting. It's the whole point. It's a theory of force. It's how to apply force with punches and kicks and whatever you've got to do that'll actually knock people flat and stop them wanting to fight. And you've got to, like every other skill, learn how to apply it and not just revert to tensing right up, just thumping away, hoping for the best. So that's my thought for the day. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.